think that's how a lot of us want it to be. We want Jesus, but we just as soon leave the cross behind. But Jesus wants us to understand that the cross is not optional. No, Jesus wants us to understand that if we choose to be his followers, then we need to understand right up front that there might be a price we're going to have to pay for doing that. Jesus wants us to understand right up front that if we choose to be his followers, there might very well be people from time to time who are going to rise up and oppose us. In the Greek Orthodox Church, when a baby is baptized, the priest takes the large, heavy cross that hangs from his neck and smashes it onto the child's chest, often striking the child so hard that it leaves a mark and causes the baby to scream. In the Greek Orthodox Church, they want to make sure that everyone witnessing that baptism understands what's involved in baptism. In baptism, we are being joined to Jesus. In baptism, we are being received as a part of Jesus' family. And even though we might wish that being connected to Jesus in that way might lead to a never-ending life of smiles and happiness and bliss, that's not the way that it works. No, when we become joined to Jesus, when we become his followers, it means that we're committing ourselves to following him and doing what he wants us to be doing with our lives, no matter what. Even if following Jesus and doing what he wants us to be doing with our lives might mean that there will be a price that will have to be paid. That's what that Greek Orthodox priest means to convey when he strikes that child with that cross. One of the things the cross does is that it reminds us that just as people in Jesus' day opposed him, if we follow Jesus, there may very well be people who are going to oppose us. Over the years, our church has developed a pretty good relationship with the local Harlington School District. And on a fairly regular basis, they allow us to hand out flyers to the kids about some of our youth activities, just like they allow other community organizations to announce their events. Well, a week or so before school started, we sent the administrative office a copy of our youth club flyer and asked for permission to hand it out during the first week of class. And as the administration usually does, they said that would be fine. But on the day when we dropped off those flyers at the elementary school, we ran into some unexpected opposition. You see, later that day here at the church, we got a call from the elementary school office and were told, "We're not going to hand out these flyers." Some people looked at them here in the office and they're really upset. Well, what was the problem, we asked. The problem, it turned out, was that on the reverse side of the flyer, at the very bottom, was a small clip art drawing of a kid wearing a t-shirt that said, "Jesus loves me." And so, according to the people in the elementary school office, the only way they would pass out those flyers is if we got rid of those words. Those words, "Jesus loves me." My initial inclination was to go to war and to tell them that the superintendent had already approved those flyers, and if they didn't hand them out right then and there, just as they were, we'd sue the pants off the school for religious discrimination. But then I decided that at that moment, our most pressing concern was to get that basic information about Youth Club out into the hands of the kids and their families as quickly as possible. So we took the flyers back, cut off the bottom part, and then took them back up, and they handed them out. And I guess the good ending to that story is that because those flyers were handed out during the first 2 weeks of Youth Club, we've had more than 80 different kids come to Youth Club. And we've made sure that those kids got the message that flyer wasn't allowed to tell them. That through the songs we've been teaching, through the Bible stories we've been learning, and through the other activities at Youth Club, we've made sure that those kids have gotten the word that Jesus does love them. Will you follow me? That is the question that Jesus poses to each and every one of us. Will you follow me? Jesus asks. Even if other people rise up to get in your way and oppose you. There was a certain woman who kept telling her minister what she aimed to do. She would say, I aim to be in church one of these Sundays. I aim to start reading the Bible one of these days. I aim to start praying more often someday. Well, one day the minister interrupted her and said, my dear lady, I think you've been aiming long enough. Isn't it time to pull the trigger? What about you? Have you been aiming to become a follower of Jesus, but have just not quite gotten around to doing something about it? Well, maybe the time has come for you to stop aiming. Maybe the time has come for you to pull the trigger and make